It's the Absurd American Nerdcast with your host, Dino Freddy and Mr. S.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Absurd American Nerdcast. I am one of the co-hosts, Mr. S, followed by Mr. Dino Freddy right over here. What is going on, Dino Freddy?
Happy holidays and salutations to all those who are joining us tonight. How y'all doing today? Hope everyone's doing beautiful this holiday season. How we doing, Steve?
Hey, it's holiday season. It's time for friends, family, and fun. I'm ready for the holidays.
I am get my drink on, baby.
Yeah. If you celebrate, get that coquito. There's keto, eggnog, Christmas cookies. I'm gonna be fat. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great time.
It's the best time. Honestly, I think this and Thanksgiving are the only 2 times of the year you guys can just go all out with food. Honestly.
And it's okay. It's not shameful.
It's not shameful, boo-boo.
No.
Everyone's here to have a good time.
You sit down, eat the whole pie, and everyone's like, it's Christmas. Well, anyway, man.
For the party? No, this apple pie's for me, bro.
Oh, man. Well, I know that there's some new, Christmassy stuff out, but it's also, kind of flashbacks to some of the old classic Christmas stuff as well, which I'm kind of excited just to chat about some of this. First off, we do have the Santa Clauses that came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Disney show, so it's gonna be fun and not expecting the best high tier writing out of it either. But after watching it, it was cute, it was fun, and Tim Allen, when the first Santa Claus came out, kind of was our generation's staple of Santa Claus, so to speak. I would really say so. Before him, Miracle on 34th Street? That would probably be that generation's kind of Santa Claus.
Yeah, that and what's another Santa Claus? I will say his Santa Claus is more of your 90s kids Santa Claus, but I think and this may be a little controversial, but the Santa Claus that was in Elf was kind of I know it wasn't in the whole movie, but he was there. He had the Santa Claus-esque style to him,
He was a good Santa Claus too.
Yeah.
But excuse me. But yeah,
Sorry, not today. Sorry.
The series has been a little bit of nostalgia, and we've kind of been chatting about how everything's kind of going towards that right now. And I just feel like nostalgia is the word. If you're in, you're in, and it's kind of fun. But they bring back the old characters from the original movies to make appearances, and that was just fun during the whole series. The storyline, the story arc, whatever, it was kind of what if the North Pole became Amazon? And that Santa that's taking over or whatever made it into Amazon. And oh no, we need to save Christmas because Santa only does this once a year, not every day, all day, Amazon does. I did like the little featurette of him interviewing Peyton Manning to be a someone that could take over being Santa Claus. I thought that was kind of funny.
You have potential.
Honestly, I bet he could run the North Pole. And it would be pretty interesting. I don't know. So the Santa Clauses on Disney Plus, definitely a cute, fun show to check out with all the family and everything this Christmas. Especially if you were a fan of the original. It's cool tiebacks, new age. It kind of seems like they're gonna try to pass off the torch, but I feel like they've been trying to do that for 3 or 4 movies now. So we'll see what happens with it.
I just feel like after the first, like my personal opinion, I feel like after the first Santa Claus movie, they should have just stopped.
Yeah.
Like that was such a good one and done movie, you know?
Right. But I mean, it was so popular. I see why they did a second one, and of course, we were curious about the second one because they brought in the same cast pretty much. And yeah, by the third one, we're like, all right, this is confusing.
And it was Jack Frost, right?
Yeah.
Martin Short was Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, that's cool.
It was just kind of a weird twist on it. And then that was the second one, right?
And that was the third one.
That was the third one.
The second one was the robot Santa Claus.
Right. I was thinking of the toy soldiers, and I was like, wait.
And I was like, what? This was like not the like it just. I feel like that movie went the opposite direction of what the Santa Claus is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's like the first Santa Claus was about him trying to show that his son that, you know, Santa Claus is real, but like Dad's always busy because he is Santa Claus, and you saw the transition of him turning from a human to I mean he is still a human, but you know like a normal human to Santa Claus, you know.
Yeah.
And like that was like really cool. And then they added Mecha Santa in the second one, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. And then when they were like, oh, we're going to introduce Jack Frost, and it just got even dumber of a concept. And I was like, you just strayed from the path so much that you were just like, yeah, this nostalgia, the feeling of like a warm, genuinely heartfelt Santa story about family and shit, just went, oh, we gotta save Christmas now because I made a robot, Terminator Santa, and then he has minions, and it's like all these Doom bots that are around, and I'm very passionate about this film's franchise. Oh my god. I mean, there were parts that were funny, don't get me wrong,
Right.
but I just feel like from the first movie and the rest of the series, including like this show, is so far from what that movie was supposed to be. Or was.
Yeah.
You know?
They do bring the toy soldiers back in the series, so.
And I'm like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, anyway, I kind of enjoyed it, but you know, at the same time, it's one of those like, do we really need it? But it was cool seeing Tim Allen be Santa Claus and just kind of brought back those old fun memories from the original movie. So it was fun.
How old is Tim Allen? Is he like in his late 60s, 70s?
He's got to be getting in his 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the desanification process made him look fine. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
There's also another series that's out as well that is very much a throwback from another old classic, and that's A Christmas Story Christmas. It's a movie that came out and it's on HBO, and it's dealing with, I mean, it's literally like a Ralphie grew up and now he's in charge of Christmas movie, and I really liked it. Like, I really, really liked it. So the original Christmas Story kind of reminded me more so of like my grandpa, and this one really kind of reminded me of like not even like my dad, but like some stuff like dealing with my parents and stuff with Christmas, and then other like the other side of that coin of I understand how if I was going to try to put together a Christmas, like the frustration of it. So it was very well written, very well done. Again, they bring back like original characters and introduce them back as themselves, which I really loved. All the classic nostalgia stuff for Christmas, especially that we're getting right now. I don't know. It was really heartwarming, really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. I would highly suggest checking that one out the holiday season if you haven't already.
I won't check that movie out. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm just gonna say, like, the title for that movie is ridiculous.
It is.
Christmas. I feel like they're very critical on Christmas because it's not my favorite holiday. But
I thought the same thing, and I'm like, why not call it A Christmas Story 2? But then I realized there was A Christmas Story 2 and how awful it was.
yeah, I just wish it was called like not Christmas Story Christmas. I just wish it was called like I don't know, something else that's like more clever.
Another Christmas Story.
Yeah,
or
see?
like the next Christmas Story.
Another Christmas Story.
I like the Another Christmas Story.
There you go.
Because then you can be like Another Christmas Story.
Another one. Come on.
But then you're like, have you seen Another Christmas Story?
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a good one. Yeah, I had literally no gripes about it. They make good callbacks to the original one. The very end of the movie, you could almost watch this one and then watch the original. Like it fades into it as if it was going to fade right into the original movie.
Check it out because I've heard great things about it. Honestly, I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it. I got nothing really bad about it at all. The acting was fine in it. Watching Ralphie growing up and having adult struggles that are relatable. 100%. I enjoyed it all the way through. Yeah. Any Christmas movie in particular that you loved or like something that you always have to watch every Christmas season?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Thank you, Steven, for that intro right there. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So there was one Christmas movie that I really enjoyed as a kid growing up. It was like a tradition every year. Even though I don't like the holiday, like this movie I always look forward to watching with everybody was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, one of my top favorites, and I totally agree with you.
I know, like, Chevy Chase is, like, a fucking dick, but, like, that movie is perfect. Like, honestly, I would put it next to, like, Die Hard for my favorite Christmas movie. Yeah, it was funny overall. Like, it hit every stereotype of like, how it would be like with your in-laws and what you guys dread about seeing your in-laws and your family and whatnot. Like as the kids, they were just like, fuck. And then like when we get his cheek pinch, and then like someone out of touch was like, hey, if you do this, I'll give you a quarter. You know, especially like working on Christmas, getting like your deadlines done, hoping for that Christmas bonus. Like everything's really relatable in that movie.
It is.
Around like the holiday season and finding out you don't get your bonus and like you're just like fucking pissed. And then like all of a sudden like you're enjoying Christmas with your family, and then all of a sudden your best friend comes in with his family, joins in, like shit like that does happen.
The family invasion.
Like, my favorite like part every year, we just like hear Eddie just yell out to the other guy next door and say, hey, shit, it was full, you know?
It's one of the best lines.
You didn't put that in the storm drain, did you, Eddie?
No.
Fucking explodes. And then, like, when it explodes, spoilers, once it explodes, like, the ant starts singing the Star Spangled Banner or something like that.
Yes,
and like, everyone joins in and just watches this plastic Santa fly through the air on fire. Like... It's so fucking funny. If you guys haven't seen it, like, I highly recommend that movie. It's one of the best comedies that I feel like a lot of people kind of sleep on, honestly, because I don't see people watching the reaction videos for them that much, or like what they do, there's only like a handful of people that do that, but I would love to do a reaction video on that, because I've already seen it, but it's the same reactions every time, honestly.
Yeah, agreed. So growing up for me, that movie was definitely super relatable because my dad is a Christmas avid collector enthusiast, if you will. So we had our house decorated on the outside just as much as on the inside. I'm talking like 12, 16 Christmas trees, everything decked out. But the exterior lighting is definitely something that was a spectacle. If I'm able to put some photos up, I'll have Drew edit in some of these photos of how ridiculous. So in National Lampoon, right, the Clark W. Griswold has 10,000 twinkle lights. Okay, I asked my dad his highest count that he ever had, and he said 60,000. 6 times the amount of lights that Clark W. Griswold has on his lights. So he never really disclosed how much to a dollar amount that it was. But what he would always tell us is, for the months that we had the lights up, which is the end of November, like the weekend before Thanksgiving is when we always put up these lights. So November, December, January, end of February, early March sometimes. Depends on when the ground thaws out, right?
Yeah.
He said, so for like those 4 months is how much electricity would be for the entire year. For 1 month, I believe.
That's wild. I'm not even lying. That's wild, dude.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to get some photos and put them up on the screen and everything so you guys can see this.
You can actually post that on Instagram. Like,
right.
Honestly, like, hey, look, you should put like a slide between which one looks better, Clark W. Griswold's or my dad's? Right.
Yeah, I always watch Christmas Vacation, and I feel for Russ because he's like, untangle all these lights. I've been there. I've untangled those lights. Oh, we're gonna have to check every bulb. I've been out in the middle of the ice storm, winter storm, in a snowmobile suit with a pocket full of brand new lights and a pocket full of the ones that I gotta get rid of. And just like walking around this pockets full of glass, right? Because that's what they are. They're C7 light bulbs. They're made of glass. It's like, oh man, what a time. Get home from school, get your homework done, have dinner, go outside, change all the light bulbs, go to bed.
I was thinking about like December, like when I was up north in New York as a kid. Like my favorite type of like, I know others would probably like get what I'm about to say, is like, okay, so it's nighttime and there's orange lights and it's snowing and there's a fresh blanket of snow, but that moment when that crisp air smelling of snow at the night sky that's like illuminated from the street lamps and everything like that, and you smell it and you're just like, fuck, that just like unlocked a fucking key memory in my brain right now.
Right?
You know,
and
like
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like right after it's like freshly snow.
Yeah.
And you walk outside and the air just seems so like crisp and clean and clear. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then 2 days later it's all sludgy and gross and stinks.
Like, no, but I could cry about it because of like how beautiful that is to me. Honestly. Yeah.
I don't miss dealing with snow.
Oh, I love snow. I made money with snow as a kid. So, little fun fact about Freddie is that I used to shovel people's driveways, and let me tell you, there's a lot of fucking lazy people in New York that don't want to shovel their driveways. And me and like 3 other guys would charge $20 a driveway, and we would just kind of like go around, and we would split it $5 each, and just kind of go from there.
Yeah. People up north take advantage of that too, with like snow plows on the front of their trucks, or if they have like a snow blower, or
I was 13 at the time, and I was 11 or 10 around the time, and I was making like over $150 as a 10-year-old.
That's awesome. That's good money for that age.
Because the neighborhoods we go to are all townhouses, so they're already like small driveways, right? Mm-hmm. So like we would bring like a wheelbarrow of like 2 big things of salt, and then like after we shovel, we would salt the ground and everything, and then kind of go from there. And like we just charged $20 a driveway. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I was out in the country, so it was either like the really big, like industrial trucks that would drive and clear out the road sometimes, or it was like people with their Fords and everything with a huge snowplow on the front of them, and they were going around and charging people to do it.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes they had like the snow blowers for like the smaller things, but like it's like living up in the country where everyone has their equipment, you know, like for anything and everything. I mean, some people don't even live. I was in the town. I don't even say it's a city. It was more of a town. And some of the, like my family that lived out in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, you'd get like stranded out there because you couldn't get around.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
I remember one year, like, I was in middle school and we got snowed in. And, like, this was years ago back in Long Island when we found out a bus full of kids crashed and, like, they all died.
Wow.
Yeah, it sucked because, like, it went up the road and it literally split the bus. So we couldn't leave the school until the city snowplows came in and got us. So we got home at, like, 10:30, almost 11 o'clock at night, where we, like, all hung out and ate food in cafeteria or the gymnasium, and then we would just kind of go back and forth between, because they were like literally right across the hall from each other. So like it was fun, but like kind of scary because like I didn't know any of those kids because I wasn't in their classes, but like yeah, it was pretty intense, honestly, hearing about that years later. So yeah.
Never really had any like big accidents or anything growing up with snow or ice. I mean, I've hit black ice and I've gotten in car accidents, but nothing like super like crazy like that.
That's something I never want to drive in, honestly. Like, ugh.
I mean, it's cool to drive in snow because it looks like you're going into light speed with the. But knowing that your car can just slide at any given time is just not not fun at all. So yeah, what is some of your favorite holiday snacks?
My grandmother used to call them, and they're called also Mexican wedding cookies, but like my grandma called them Italian wedding cookies. Then same thing, like they're powdered things with like almond and I think pistachio in them. And they're really good. That's like my favorite thing she would make by hand every year. Also, like my uncle, because he was Jewish, we would eat like matzo ball soup every year because we would celebrate Hanukkah with him and all that. So those were like my favorite like dishes growing up as a kid.
Gotcha. I really like we make no bake chocolate oatmeal cookies that are really good. But also another one of my grandmother's recipes, which we called them church windows. But basically it's like rolling your own log of fudge with marshmallows and having like the different colored marshmallows in the middle. But when you cut them, they look like stained glass. So you have like this walnut fudge with marshmallows in the middle. And then you would line the outside with coconut and then wrap it in wax paper and freeze it so everything sticks together. So you end up with like, you know how fudge comes in those logs and they cut it into slices. I mean, it's literally what you're making is a fudge log. But those were really good. I really like those too. Those are some of the treats that I looked forward to in the holidays and making.
Nice.
And of course, pumpkin pie, pecan pie. I'm a little pumpkin.
What's your like? If you had one to eat the rest of your life, what would you have? Pumpkin pie or pecan pie?
Ooh. If you could only choose one.
God,
I'm such a fan of both. That's such a hard one. I would have to go pumpkin pie. It's always been one of my top favorites. But man, I love a good pecan pie right next to it. What about you?
I think I'll go with pecan pie because like pumpkin pie is kind of like hit or miss for me. If it's too mushy, I won't eat it.
Right.
But I have like two favorite pies is apple pie, and which I know is very basic, but if it's done right with the cinnamon and stuff, and blueberry pie is my absolute favorite. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite cookie?
So you know those Pillsbury sugar cookies that have like the little cute designs on them? Those are my favorite cookies.
Really?
Yeah, I buy so much and I make them every year.
I like chocolate chip like chunk, but if you can put like pecans or like a chocolate chip supreme cookie, pretty much, those are so good. But I like a good solid M&M. I like a good cookies and cream cookie. I mean, those are always endless. Were you guys more of a turkey or ham for Christmas family? We always did turkey on Thanksgiving and ham on Christmas.
We did both. We did that and we did seafood. Okay, so like, not to go too much into my personal life, but Christmas was like a really big thing where like my grandmother and her sisters would host it every year at each other's houses.
Okay.
So we would have like 50 to 100 people of our family come out and travel the whole tri-state area and meet up. Like,
okay, yeah.
We had like, my uncle was kind of like, I don't want to say like, look, because that's not me. That's not all that. But like, he would have like people cater and like do huge events. It was like a big thing. So like, we just had like ham, turkey, rotisserie chicken, seafood, lobster. I know it sounds ridiculous, but if you're feeding 100 people, I guess you have to get all that.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
That's nice. We had something kind of similar. I have an aunt, and it was always at her house. Mostly my dad's side of the family would all gather out in the middle of nowhere, Badonkadonk country land, and that's where we'd all go. It was always a fun time being around family and everything. Were you angel or star on the tree?
This is not me, but it was both because we had multiple trees in the house.
I told you I could totally say that because I mean I told you 16. I think it was like 16. There might have been like 20, like all different shapes, sizes, Christmas trees. They all had different toppers.
Mm-hmm.
We were Colts fans, so our Colts Christmas tree, which goes up, and we don't take it down until they lose and they're out of the series. It would have like a Colts Santa hat on top. The Disney and Mickey tree would have the Mickey Santa hat on top. We had a star on we have family ornament tree. We'd have like an ornament from every single year. We would travel to the world's largest Christmas store every year as a family trip, and we would buy ornaments.
Nice.
Every year we get an ornament to put on our family tree.
Very cool.
So we have that, and then we have like we have like everything has like a different theme tree. It was Anyway, that's kind of what we were doing. So like our tree toppers were all different things, but our main Christmas tree was star.
Nice.
Yeah.
My uncle had a 26-foot tree in his house.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he had when I mean like he was like loaded, he was super loaded. Like it felt like walking into Bruce Wayne's manor. And
someday
the tree,
I'd like to have Christmas like that, you know?
Yeah, it was a tree, I think.
You said it was a real tree?
A real tree.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was so crazy, you know?
Not one of those real fake trees?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was real fake trees, like white trees, purple trees, like They had trees everywhere.
We
People were
had
like,
a sparkly pink tree, and it was our 1940s, 50s tree. With
Oh,
like
cool.
the poodle skirts and the soda fountain drinks and the jukebox. I'm telling you, we had a music theme that was on top of the piano. So it had like all different music, different ornaments.
Mhm.
I had a Christmas tree pretty much for every occasion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, well, that's kind of some of the stuff from us and our holiday traditions. What are some of your guys' favorite holiday traditions? What's your tell us if there's something that we miss that you celebrate or do on Christmas that is either odd or unusual that you feel like sharing. I don't know where else to go with that. I want to hear about some fun holiday stuff.
I mean, I'm always excited to learn about like, what everybody does for the holidays because everyone has a different tradition or similar
Right.
traditions, and you know, we always want to hear like the cool stuff that are like stuff that you guys like, and we want to be like more involved with y'all. So, yeah. So we want to know.
Yeah, tell us your craziest holiday story, whether it's having 60,000 Christmas lights on your house or 20 Christmas trees or knowing a guy that has a government state issued Santa Claus ID so that he plays Santa Claus and he's legit with it. Like,
That's funny.
I gotta connect, let me tell you. But from all of us here at Absurd American Nerdcast to all you guys that out there, you know, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is that you guys celebrate. We're excited that you joined us for our discussion and a little tribute to either nostalgia or a trip down to some of our Christmas past. So till next time, life's good out there, man. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you. Happy holidays. Bye.
This has been the Absurd America Nerdcast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. And click here for more.